Very esteemed participants of this very important webinar that we are going live today.
Correct.
The chartered accountants and other colleagues who have joined for this particular webinar, about 1,000 plus have attending this today. Warm good evening to each and every one of you. We have with us the most honorable Shri Khadar Rahman sir, IRS retired, who is the technical member of the newly formed GST Appellate Tribunal. We also have here with us CA Umesh Sharma, our Honorable Vice Chairman of the GST and Indirect Taxes Committee, and also the Chairman of the Artificial Intelligence in ICAI, that is AI in ICAI Committee. We also have our Secretary, a very agile and efficient Secretary, a very important person in the whole setup, an academic expert, C.S. Smita Mishra. We have our organizing secretary, Impreet Kaur, and our technical support people are there at the background. First and foremost, friends, we have the illustrious personality of Khadar Rahman sir. I must say, he has gone one full round in GST, starting from the policy making, also being in the field, and having spent about 3 decades in the department. He has seen everything. And today, rightfully so, he sits in the seat as a judge. As a technical member of the GST Appellate Tribunal, he is currently stationed in Chennai bench. Sir, your expertise, your support has always been a constant motivation for the committee, and the committee is always indebted to you. You have been a pioneer in spreading the education of GST. You have always been the recipient of the best of the suggestions and views given by the trade bodies, given by ICAI in particular. You have also been a constant motivator by praising our publications, not only before us, but also behind us, and telling people to use the ICAI publications for their benefit and also for the benefit of the department. Sir, whenever ICAI has requested you, you have come to our forum to address us. This is a significant pointer that the regulators, the lawmakers, as well as ICAI, which is a bridge between the regulator and the taxpayer, our bonds are strong, our bonds remain strong at all times. Today, you are here to guide us on various aspects of the tribunal. In fact, esteemed friends, Rahman sir, as all of you know, has been in the policy making for quite some time. He has seen closely the GST. He has seen the implementation of the GST. He has witnessed numerous issues that have emanated on and off. He's the right person today, and all 1,000 plus of you who are going to listen to him will be immensely benefited. Sir, I must tell you that chartered accountants today have become sine qua non as far as GST is concerned. We have here CA Umesh Sharma, our vice chairman, sir. Many of you may know or many of you may not know that he holds the Guinness record for continuously publishing 1,000 plus articles in a single newspaper called Lokmat in Maharashtra.
Great.
There's no other person who would have written every week 1,000 plus articles. He continues to write. His passion for writing is never ending, and he's certainly an asset for the nation per se, I must say, in general, and for GST, the subject in particular. Thank you, sir, for being with us. Thank you, Umesh ji. I request Umesh ji to please start the proceedings and also give a brief remarks. And then hand over the session to the safe hands of our very learned faculty, Rahman sir. Thank you.
Thank you, RK sir, and thank you, Rahman sir. And friends, today This is a very special webinar for our chartered accountant members, which is organized by the Indirect Tax Committee of ICI. And you all must be proud that our chairman, Rajendra Kumar sir, is in Paris today. He is addressing from there, and he is witnessing one of the world's largest indirect tax conference and meeting at international forum, and he is representing India. And we are proud of you, sir, at ICI, that your experience, your knowledge of GST, and also from the international indirect tax fraternity flows back to India, and it's empower our members. So thank you, RK sir. Under your chairmanship, we all are working with wholehearted, and we have seen a GST symposium just now finished. It was a fourth GST symposium where Rahman sir were also there. He is one of the finest speaker on this subject, and as told by our chairman, this GST Appellate Tribunal is a subject which is going to be now most important in the coming 26 year. So you all have resolutions for new year, and for the indirect tax practitioner across India, GST Tribunal practice may be one of your resolution that you want to sail ahead, you want to look forward for growing yourself in this arena. And we have a friend, philosopher and guide to our indirect tax committee, Rahman sir, who is guiding us from so many years. So welcome you, sir. And I will request all members to keep your queries precise. At the end of the session, we will have a brief query session, and note down the points and enjoy the coming GST tribunal practice with your knowledge, with your guidance, sir. Over to you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. PPT. Share PPT. Right hand side, tab. Share. Tab,
You
right.
can start, sir.
Yeah,
You can start, sir.
Right hand side, the tab. This window tab, bring it to right hand side, vertical, thank you. Vertical. Bas. Yeah. Good evening to all of you. I hope I am audible.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. And I hope you are able to see the PPT also.
Yes, sir.
Perfect. First of all, Sri CA Rajendra Kumar ji, Sri Umesh Sharma ji, Smita Mishra ji, Impreet, and many of the office bearers of Indirect Taxes Committee of ICA, and all the esteemed chartered accountants, practitioners, industry leaders who are participating in this webinar. Welcome to all of you. And from Chennai, I will say Vanakkam. Namaste to all of you. I have recently joined in Chennai. That's on 21st January, and today we are able to conduct this webinar from Chennai. And a few weeks before, we were at Thiruvananthapuram on this National GST Symposium. There, on the same topic of GST Appellate Tribunal, I was asked to speak. So I have interacted with the people there. After speaking to them, after taking some other feedback, I have modified this PPT. I come with in front of you. My plan is to discuss, introduce the GST Appellate Tribunal to the community of chartered accountants, so that you are also able to compete with other community of advocates in not only preparing your appeal memorandums, but also in presenting and arguing the cases before the tribunal. During my earlier days in the service, especially during after service tax came, we came in touch with chartered accountants. They used to appear for personal hearing before us during the quasi-judicial adjudication processes. After GST has come, the GST law is for CS and by CS and meant for the CS. So to that extent, first 7 years, 2017 to 2025, it was all right. But I would like to request through ICI to entire fraternity of CAs to understand that now only the ground is open for the tribunal. 2026, now the tribunal is starting. Till now, the CS used to play a role of understanding the GSTR 3B, GSTR 9, doing all the process. Now the entire new arena has been opened up, wherein there is a scope for filing the appeals and there is a scope for arguing the cases also before tribunal. With that few words, I'm trying to impress upon you the importance of understanding the procedures and the issues involved in the appellate tribunal. I would like to quickly show it to you what is my plan of presentation. Next slide. My plan of presentation is like this. Basically, 5 topics I'm going to cover. One is about the introduction and the jurisdiction of appellate tribunal and what are its powers. What is the preparation to be done for pre-filing of appeals before the tribunal? How do we file appeals and how are the hearings are conducted? What are the issues involved in that? Then what are the issues with respect to post-hearing? After the hearing, how the orders are issued and what happens? And last and most important issues, what are the challenges at present and what is the way forward? Next slide. So I'll first introduce you about GST 80. GST 80, as all of you are aware, is one of the tribunals that are available in India. And it is the tribunal that treats about GST disputes as a second appellate authority. If you are able to see this slide, on the right-hand side, I have shown you the triangle. The ground level is what is adjudication done by the officers of GST department, let it be state government or central government. ACDCs, superintendents pass order in original and joint additions also pass order in original. This is called primary adjudication level. The triangle, the bottommost one. If the taxpayer or the revenue means department, is aggrieved of the order, then they can file an appeal with first appellate authority. Against the orders of superintendent ACDC, it is the joint commissioner, additional commissioner of appeals who is the first appellate. Against the orders of JC and additional, it is the commissioner of appeals who is the first appellate authority, the blue color one. Now, against the orders of first appellate authority, if the parties, taxpayers, appellants, and or the revenue is aggrieved, then they file an appeal to the GST Appellate Tribunal. Over GST Appellate Tribunal, we have High Court and the Honorable Supreme Court. This is the basic structure. And here, 1 or 2 sections you require to read and understand. One is about 109 section under which GST 80 has been constituted. Other is how the appeals are processed is 112 section. How the orders against the orders of the first appellate authority, that is at 107. What are the powers of the GST Appellate Tribunal? 111. This is the few sections I think one should read once after the webinar so that you can recapitulate what we discussed in the webinar. Most important is GST 80 procedure rules 2025. It may be boring for you to go through, but I request you once some of the very important rules I have going to quote in this webinar, and I request you to kindly glance through once with specific focus on the relevant rules. Next slide. Now, if you understand the GST Appellate Tribunal, how it got developed, as I have told you already, 1st July 2017, GST has come. So when you see that that time when GST has come, the Appellate Tribunal has not yet come. There were 2-3 case laws that were running in the High Courts and Supreme Court. One is about Revenue Bar Association versus Union of India, Madras High Court struck down the provisions. Then came the 49 GST Council meeting where it has given some recommendations. Then the 2023 Finance Act was come, wherein the section 109 and 110 of CGST Act have been amended. Then a notification has been issued in July 2024, constituting the principal bench and state benches. Then the procedure rules, GST procedure rules have come into effect from April 2025. And additional powers are given to principal bench via the notification dated 17 September, and on 24 September, filing of appeals is got opened up on GST 80 e-filing portal. And by June 30, the final appeals will have to file, meaning all the appeals that we intend to file for which the first appellate authority order in appeal has been received by the taxpayer prior to 31st March 2026 shall be filed by 30th June 2026. This is the benchmark target, so that all the pending issues you shall file appeal if at all you want to by 30th June 2026. Next slide. As I mentioned with you, few sections are very important. Without reading section, there's no point attending a webinar. First one I mentioned to you is about 111 to 116. Kindly go through. Similarly, CGST rules 110 to 113A. Please kindly go through. Most important is kindly try to read GST Appellate Tribunal Procedure Rules 2025, which is very, very important for understanding of this webinar. Next slide. Now the various forms are also one should get introduced, and being a CA, one should be thorough with the forms. There are three main forms that are available which you require to understand. GST APL 05, this is for the application appeal to be filed online. Then we have got, you get an acclamant, provisional as well as final, that's called APL 02. Then if at all some cross objection as required to be filed, then APL 06 is to be filed. Now in the procedure, apart from this 08, 04 also there I'll come later. Apart from this, in the procedure rules, they have also introduced GST form 01, that is for the interlocutory application, there is disclaimer application to be filed. Similarly, form 04, 08, and APL 08 is also there if you want to go in appeal to High Court. And further summary of the demand, that is APL 04, then form 3 is also required in case you require to inspect the records. Next slide. These are the forms that you should understand. Fundamental, kindly focus upon me, focus upon what I am trying to say. You don't have to note down, the entire thing will come to you. Fundamental, try to understand how is the structure of GST. The structure of GST is that there is one principal bench at Delhi, there are 31 state benches. Why 31? 28 states plus 3 union territory with legislature which are called state for the purposes of GST. 31 state benches are there. In principal bench, there is one honorable president, there is a technical member center, there is a judicial member, there is a technical member state. Single member bench can also be there where individual member can sit and decide the cases. There's also divisional bench where they can sit whether president with technical member center, judicial member with technical member state. Similarly, in the state benches, like I am there at Chennai now for entire Tamil Nadu, North Tamil Nadu, we have one bench at Chennai. We are basically 4 of us are there. There are 2 judicial members and 2 technical members. Either we can sit individually and decide the cases up to 50 lakhs, or beyond that we are required to sit with divisional bench. At a time DB1, DB2, DB1 means one judicial member, one technical member. DB2 means another judicial member and another technical member. Next slide, please. Like I mentioned to you, one should understand clearly what is the difference between jurisdiction of principal bench and state bench. This I have combined and telling. I am not telling you piecemeal by section or by the notification. As on date, principal bench deals with the appeals where place of supply is one of the issues, where it is dealing with exclusively with anti-profiting matters. It is dealing with the input service distributor, OIDAR, or it's also dealing as a national appellate authority for advanced ruling. Recent notification, they have also said that in case there are identical issues pending before more than 2 state benches, then it can be with the permission, which shall be with the permission of the president, honorable president, can be transferred to principal bench. Then somebody may think of then what is the state benches going to do? State benches are going to do with all matters other than what is mentioned for principal bench. What are they? Classification, registration, then you got refunds, then you have transitional credit, then returns mismatch, reconciliation, exemption notification, payment of or non-payment of GST, then e-way bills. Other than those mentioned, principal bench are to be handled by state bench. Next slide. Now, if you take, I have mentioned it to single bench and divisional bench. Bench, as per the word that is defined in the Act, is the bench means 4 people. I mentioned it to you. But within that 4 people, you can sit as a single member bench. I can sit and decide cases where the dispute cumulative amount that is involved, differential amount, the disputed amount is less than 50 lakhs. And where there is no question of law, I can go ahead single member deciding, or I sit with one judicial member being central technical. I can sit with one judicial member and constitute a divisional bench and dispose cases which are without limit, can be more than 50 lakhs, but where question of law involved. And if it is previously decided by DB, divisional bench, then divisional bench only will decide, not the single bench. This is the basic separation between divisional bench and single bench. Next slide. Now, as I mentioned it to you, if you come to GST as second appellate authority, against the second appellate authority ordering GST order, if it is from a state bench, then appeal lies with High Court. After High Court, appeal lies with Supreme Court. If it is a principal bench, for the areas that are earmarked for principal bench, the appeal against the order of a principal bench, you have to directly go to Supreme Court only. There is no High Court in between. Next slide. Now, I am again repeating subject matters for the GST AT, which we can hear, matters which we are beyond GST AT jurisdiction also made it here very clear. I am not quoting the sections and all that to confuse you. Gist of it, I am making it very clear so that you can understand. The appeals which we can hear in GST AT are as follows. Any order passed by the first appellate authority or any revisional authority order, appeal lies with the GST AT. Appeals under CGST, SGST, UTGST, anything it can come to us. 1 second. Appeals under cross objections also can be filed by the revenue department or even by the party. If it is a revenue object appeal, then you can also file. So these are the basic 4 areas which are covered by the GST AT. Let me make it clear to you what does not come under GST AT. What does not come is as follows. Appeals from the orders of GST officers. First level, they have to go to Commissioner Appeals or JC Additional Appeal. You have to go to section 107. First is the first appellate authority, then only second appellate authority. You cannot directly come to us. Unlike SESTAT in customs and service tax central excise cases, where commissioner's orders you can directly go to SESTAT. Here no. Here it is second appellate authority. Writ petitions, not our jurisdiction. Constitutional challenges of fundamental nature, not our jurisdiction. Appeal. Please understand, GST AT is a statutory body. GST AT cannot sit upon judgment on the statute per se. We can interpret the statute. We can interpret the CGST Act or SGST Act. We cannot hold any provision of this Act as ultra vires, which only High Court or Supreme Court can do. Appeals, you are coming beyond the appeal period. I have no discretion or limitation. I cannot say, unlike SESTAT or many other, I cannot have unlimited paean to pardon. Matters where pre-deposit is not paid, sorry, with folded hands, we cannot deal with it. According to us, if pre-deposit paid, we can hear to that. Next, please. I also would like to clearly understand, it's good for all of us to understand what is their powers, what are their functions. If you want to understand a body, you should understand what is its adjudicating powers, what are its administrative powers, what are its limitations. Very important to understand. We should not go to a wrong forum. What are the powers of GST AT? They can means our appellate tribunal can confirm an order, first appellate order, can modify an order, can set aside an order, can remand an order. The GST AT can pass an interim order and give directions. It can also award costs in appropriate cases as per the GST procedure rules. What are the administrative powers I am having? What are the administrative powers I am having? I am having powers to regulate my own procedure. GST AT has powers to regulate own procedure, which is not bound by CPC, follows natural justice, is given, powers are given in 111(1). The GST AT can issue practice, directions and guidelines. It can, our Honorable President can transfer the cases between one bench to other bench. It can review its own orders in a limited circumstances, not in every case. In a limited circumstance, it can issue. What are the limitations? I am repeating here again. The limitations of tribunal is a quasi-judicial authority. That you have to understand that GST AT cannot exercise writ jurisdiction being exercised by the High Court. No. I cannot entertain appeals beyond without proper pre-deposit. GST AT cannot condone unlimited limitation period. It cannot review its own orders unless it is an exceptional circumstance. Please understand the important limitations. Next slide, please. I also want to now go to the part 2 of my presentation. Is that clear? The topic 1 which I wanted to say was about basically introduction, powers and jurisdiction. Can I hear from Umesh Sharma ji? Is that clear, sir, till now?
Yes.
Yeah, thank you, Impreet. I'll proceed to part 2 of the presentation. Part 2 of the presentation is now we are starting our journey on how to file appeals. Before filing appeal, what is the groundwork that we are required to do? The pre-filing I'm going to explain to you. Please understand, top most thing for pre-filing is is basically that you have to understand mandatory compliance. Mandatory compliance means that is which is mandatory for us to follow. What is that mandatory compliance? All pre-filing requirements must be completed before submitting an appeal to GST. Everybody knows, but it's very, very essential. What is the essential preconditions? Two things. One, pre-deposit calculation. What is pre-deposit? 10% of the disputed amount with a cap of 20 crores each under CGST, SGST, or if it is IGST matter, 40 crores. Well, 10% of the disputed amount you have already deposited during your first appellate authority. The balance 10% of the entire disputed amount you have to deposit at second appellate authority. Must be deposited before filing appeal and not after. Two, I have to within the limitation period of 3 months. Normally, it is 3 months from the date of receipt of the order. Now it has staggering has been done. Now they have removed the staggering because GST came from 25th September 2025 filing of appeals on the portal. Hence, we are telling saying that for the appeals received up to 31st March 2026, you can file up to 30th June 2026. But beyond that, it is 3 months from the date of receipt of the order. Department can take 6 months as per the GST Act provisions. Late filing requires sufficient cause for explanation. Perfect. Next one. Now, what are the document readiness that you have to do? Copy of the order against which you are appealing. It should be self-certified copy of the order or certified copy from the issuing authority. Complete case record has to be there. All documents from the original proceedings, including show cause notice, shall be filed, or the prerequisite shall be the document readiness that we shall make it ready. Next slide. Legal grounds. What are the legal grounds that you are going to file? That one has to evaluate. This is very, very, very important. First decision you as a CA consultant along with the taxpayer you have to take is evaluate the legal grounds of assessment. What are the legal grounds? Evaluate key legal aspects before proceeding with your appeal. See whether substantial question of law involved or not. Does this case involve interpretation of statutory provisions or conflicting tribunal decisions? Whether procedural compliance has been done, where proper procedures are followed by the appellate authority and passing of the impugned order. Evidence evaluation. Take the evidence, see, evaluate whether it is proper or not, whether it is worth, whether it will stand the judicial scrutiny or not. Was the relevant evidence properly considered or was there any perversity in findings? These aspects, legal aspect, one has to evaluate and give a score, let's say 0 to 10, some grading, so that we know legal ground is there. Above 5, a ground I have wherein I can sustain where it is worth filing an appeal. Next slide. I have to also see judiciously financial impact analysis. I means I am talking about as a CA, as a consultant, and the taxpayer who would be the possible appellant. What I have to see? I have to see what is the cost consideration. What is the cost consideration? Here for filing appeal, there is a fee. That fee is prescribed as 1,000 rupees per every 1 lakh of dispute, subject to maximum cap of some amount, no issue. Difference in rate of tax, minimum is 5,000, maximum is 25,000. So this is going to be meaning 1 lakh rupees of the tax dispute or difference in the rate of tax, subject to maximum 25,000. So there will be filing fee, there will be pre-deposit, which I already mentioned it to you. 10% of the disputed tax amount capped with 20 crore for each CGST, SG, or 40 crore for GST, or 10% of disputed penalty, only penalty is involved. Only penalty is being disputed. For the penalty only orders. So I have to deposit this. Additional filing fee is also there, 5,000 rupees for replies, cross objection, rejoinders, etc. Legal fee of and representation cost, meaning the fee the taxpayer would be paying to the consultant, which may be CR or to an advocate with respect to the fee. Meaning, if you file an appeal, if the GST gives order in favor of revenue, you may go in appeal. Or if GST gives an order in favor of taxpayer appellant, the department also may go in appeal, subject to some threshold limits. So one has to see what is the financial impact analysis. Then only take a call. First one, legal ground. 2 is financial. And third one is, next slide. Third one you have to see is that benefit analysis. Is it worth going for an appeal or not? What is the potential tax liability reduction that's going to happen? What is the interest and penalty savings I'm going to get? What is does it work as precedent value for future cases? Even if this order is there, if I don't appeal, does it become a precedent for me? Does it obstruct me my future cases? This benefit analysis one has to do, then only take a call whether to file an appeal or not. This is very, very important. Why? Because unless you do this analysis, it is not worth going. Why? Next slide will show you. Always remember, when you file an appeal, whether you will win or not, whether you will get in favor or not, has to be decided according to me 4 factors. I have worked as a principal commissioner, authorized representative to Sestat. I have argued before Honorable Principal Bench Sestat for almost 2 years in customs cases. So what I have seen with my experience, these numbers are not absolute, relative only. One is about the strength of the case. Show cause notice is already issued, order in original already issued, first appellate order already issued. These 3 have more or less decided the fate of the case itself. If it is a strong case in favor of revenue, then they will have a strong SCN and very, very legally, constitutionally valid order in original. So it may be very difficult for the taxpayer to dispute that. Number 2 is the precedents or case laws. If already this issue has been decided in favor of revenue or in favor of taxpayer, then you will have a solid ground of precedent is already available as a covered case. Third is your arguments by your lawyer, whether it is a private consultant for you or whether it is an authorized representative for the department. How will they argue? How across they put it across? Last, and which is not at all in your control, is decision by the judges, that is members of the GST. So these 4 factors are the main whether to win a case or lose a case. Considering these 4 factors, look into the legal ground evaluation, look into the financial impact, look into the benefit analysis, then you take a call. Next, then you take a call whether it is worth appealing or not. Also, being a consultant for the taxpayer, I would like you to see, before you file an appeal, very carefully listen, before you file an appeal, see if the GST gives this order, whether department will accept that order if it is against, or will they go in appeal. This is a very, very important factor, because there are threshold limits that are available with the department. For GST to come, there is a 20 lakh limit. For High Court to go for the revenue, there is a 1 crore and above. For the Supreme Court, it is 2 crore and above. So department will further appeal against the order of GST to High Court only if the amount is above 1 crore. So if it beyond 20 lakhs and below 1 crore, then obviously taxpayer can take a chance of filing appeal. I mean, that's up to you to evaluate. Main thing one has to say is that the threshold limit are to decrease the litigation by the department. The department will not file an appeal if it is below the threshold limit prescribed here. I will say these threshold limits may not be valid in cases where it's a constitutional validity is involved, ultra virus is involved, recurring adverse comments, recurring in nature, or adverse comments, all these are involved, then it is not applicable. So please ensure saying that the mandatory limit is also seen before you decide to file an appeal. Next one. Pre-deposit. Now, pre-deposit is something very, very catchy. In fact, many of the people feel saying that many of the people saying that they are not filing appeal, even the portal is open. Some people told me, sir, pre-deposit, money will get locked up. Yes, also, no, also. Why? There is a tax component, 10% of the disputed tax amount you have to deposit as a pre-deposit. Even if it's a penalty interest cases also, admitted amounts only, meaning whatever you have admitted amounts, then there the penalty and interest would come. On that also, if you want to file an appeal, you will have to pay 10%. But it is always with a cap of 20%, 20 crores, which is available. The pre-deposit is 10% for appellate authority and 10% at the second appellate authority. For penalty only cases, it is 10% of the penalty that is imposed has to be paid. So here, some people say, and it is true also, you can always use electronic credit ledger or cash ledger. You don't have to pay compulsorily from cash. You can even pay by debiting the ITC. There are also people who adjusted DRC 03 payments against the pre-deposit. So intimation to judicial officer is always advisory. That is as mentioned in the circular. I go to next slide. Next slide. Please understand this pre-deposit thing. Then ensure saying that complete amount is paid. If part amount is paid, then it will be into defect. Now go to the payment details. Payment details are to be done. Payment details are to be done with respect to before filing appeal. Payment mode has to be always through GST portal in electronic payment. not by challan or anything, then proof is required to be shown along with your appeal application. And please understand that in case the order of GST comes in favor of the appellant, then the entire amount of pre-deposit would be refunded to you from the date of deposit to the date of refund. From the date you have deposited this pre-deposit, from that date, not from the date of order, not 3 months from the date of the order, from the date on which you have given the pre-deposit to the date of refund, you will get the interest period also. Entire amount will be refunded with interest. Next slide, please. Now I will come to the stay. Many people think that if it is possible to get a stay from the appellate tribunals, my experience is that generally appellate tribunals are not giving stay against the first appellate authority order. Why? Because the day you pay the 10% additional 10% pre-deposit, your 20% is paid, your balance 80% is automatically stayed. Suppose 100 rupees is disputed, first appellate authority you paid 10 rupees. During the appeal period, the 90 rupees was stayed. The moment first appellate authority came in favor of the revenue, where you are aggrieved and you are filing an appeal, then you have to file you have to pay another 10% before the second appellate authority. Then you will file that appeal. The balance 80% gets automatically stayed. Hence, generally, GST encourages people to file early hearing application rather than giving stay. Stay is not automatically granted. Pre-deposit requirement continues unless stay is specifically granted. And here I want to say that pre-deposit amount can be refunded, and it has been mentioned there in the section 115. It is nothing to worry that if I file appeal early, I will unnecessarily lose my money. You will not lose your money. If you win, you will get your refund along with interest. If you have paid earlier, then you will get. To that extent, some liquidity constraint could be there upon you. Next slide, please. Timelines. Now I'll come to the timeline. Second important factor for pre-filing, which I have mentioned earlier also, which I would like to reiterate again, that here the timelines are very, very strict timelines are there. The timeline is that you have to file an appeal within 3 months from the date of receipt of the first appellate authority to you. This is the normal order. Now it is different, it's a different matter, but otherwise it is a 3 months, within 3 months from the time of receipt of the first appellate authority order. But today the position is that government initially extended the normal timeline till 30th June 2026 because GST has come into picture and the portal got opened only from 25th September 2025. In respect of order in appeals communicated prior to 1/4/2026 up to 31st March 2026 in a staggering manner. Then the staggering order has been withdrawn. Then GST has said that any person who wants, you can file an appeal up to 30th March 2026. Please remember, in case there is a valid reason, exceptionally valid reason that you are not able to file within 3 months, then there is a power for the GST to condone for an additional 3 months, 3 plus 3. So, but this condonation is under 112(6) and it is with additional period of filing for sufficient cost. For this period, up to 31st March 2026, there is no condonation of delay. For the subsequent period, from 1st April 2026, you are going to file up to 30th June 2026. If there is any delay for the appeal orders that are received after 1/4, then only this particular 3 months additional class will come. 3 months additional class cannot be filed for the period up to 31st March 2026. And in case if it goes under defect, if it's a defect, then you get defect rectification under 7 days. But from the date after which defect is cured, then your appeal number is allotted. Then the date of filing of appeal would be the date after curing of defect, not from the date of filing of appeal. Filing appeal gets an appeal number only after if it is defect free. But you get a 7-day period for curing your defect. Generally you get 1 month if you are a respondent to the appeal to reply back to the appeal. That is under Rule 36 of GST 80 procedure rules. Next slide, please. Here I also want to say that this was a staggering order that was given earlier, but the staggering order has been withdrawn. Many people who are received, who have filed the first appeal, the staggering order is very, very different. If you kindly see, it is talking about the date of filing of the appeal application before first appellate authority. With respect to that, they have given. Anyway, as on date, it has been withdrawn, but no issue at all. But you have to carefully focus that it is from the date of filing of Appeal 01. And they have given certain periods. My appeal to all of you through CS to the entire tax community is that in case if it is a disputed item, please file early as early as possible because today portal is working. If you wait till 30th June 2026, God only knows in case there is too much of stress that comes up on the portal. Next slide, please. Now, as on date, it is like this. As on date, if you look at it, it is like this. 2-3 small things I wanted to mention. Date of event is excluded. While calculating the time period of 3 months, the date from which the period is reckoned shall be excluded. Office closure days are excluded. Public holidays are excluded. Next slide. Continuation of delay provisions. Suppose you want to condone the delay for another 3 months, then there is a filing of appeal within the specified period deadline. Then there is also a filing appeal after the deadline before 30th June 2026, filing appeal after 30th June 2026. I have submitted here, which is trying to say that there will not be any application or continuation of delay for the appeals received prior to 31st March 2026. And filing of appeal also after 30th June 2026 shall be done in a regular manner. And there, if there is any continuation of delay, they can always claim. Next slide. Now, pre-filing requirements, I will reiterate once again. One is that pre-deposit payment. 2 is that you have to do the document preparation. 3 is the appeal filing. Now comes important next step. Next step, please. Next slide. Is the step 4. That is document preparation and appeal submission. Document preparation is that you have to keep all the documents such as GST 81, filled up appeal memorandum, then you have to pay the appeal fee, then you have to prepare a comprehensive list of documents, then arrange for documents in chronological order with English translation and create proper index with page numbers and signatures. The appeal fee 50% is decided by the members, honorable member, after seeing the document preparation itself. If they are impressed with document preparation, they will generally incline to listening more carefully to you. If your document preparation itself is faulty and not up to the mark, then the judges may lose an impression about the appellant. And I have seen some of the people in SESTAT, when they prepare file an appeal and see, it is fantastic, beyond a department's purview also. I would like to appreciate the way the document preparation is done. Fourth important factor I want to say is about appeal submission. Appeal submission has to be done within the prescribed time period, 3 months for the taxpayer, 6 months for the department. Include all relevant documents, annex a prescribed fee, then obtain acclarement reply from the registry. These are the 4 important factors with respect to appeal submission. Next slide, please. Now, to reiterate again, filing of appeal, initial filing will take 1 to 3 days. Then registry scrutiny, generally the day you file an appeal, before appeal number is allotted, registry will take its own time to scrutiny. Generally, it is between 4th day to 15th day. Within 15 days, they finish all the scrutiny. Then if there is defect notice is there, it will come to you from 16th day to 30th day. That is also in mid you can say, the defect notice, if it comes, then you will have to attend to it. After, we can say registry issues defect notice for any non-compliance appellant must rectify within 15 days. Recent order has been given to ignore, routine defects, only substantial defected, then only it is to be raised by the registry. Now, registration, listing and appeal registered and listed for hearing before appropriate bench. This will happen from the day 30th onwards. So this is the general, it's not official. This is a general out of practice. I mentioned it to you that 1 to 3 days, 4 to 15 days, and day 16 to 30 and beyond 30. Next slide, if you go. I just prepared a document checklist for you so that you can easily check whether copy of appellate authority address enclosed, proof of service, it doesn't matter here. You will have to show it to the proof of pre-deposit, will show appeal memorandum in GST 81 I have to do. The list of documents I have to arrange it clause. Supporting documents I mentioned, lower authority proceeding record, relevant correspondence, in case I'm going to rely upon, the case laws precedents, and technical expert reports, if any, wakalatnama and authorization. So these are the supporting documents which are part of the essential document checklist. Am I clear? Then comes what are the common errors. Next slide. Even though we not compiled this on the basis of the GST 80 after people have filed, then we have asked them what will be common error, then I have not compiled. I have compiled it out of common sense that what could be the possible errors that the people may commit while filing the appeals. because comes out of the 40 years of experience of SESTAT. SESTAT has been functioning for so many years. So what are the mistakes that people are often doing? I have listed out there. Common mistake is that filing fee mechanism, miscalculation. That is incorrect calculation of 1,000 rupees per 1 lakh are missing or mix or maximum minimum or maximum limits. Now here it is, one has to understand that people will miscalculate the fee, people may miscalculate the pre-deposit, people may miscalculate the form and signature errors, meaning using wrong forms is a very, very biggest blunder. And for GST APL 06 has to be through cross objection form. Similarly, GST Form 1 for interregulatory applications are missing, signatures and verification. So these are the various forms that are fixed, and these forms would going to be completely used, and there shall not be any mistake with respect to the form and signature errors. Signature is not done, that is an error. Pre-deposit not paid, that's an error. Pre-deposit paid but insufficient, that's an error. So these kind of errors should be avoided, but if common mistakes are coming, it has to be rectified. Now, additional filing options, I have mentioned it to you. Once the appeal is filed by an appellant, the respondent gets 1 month for reply, and the respondent also has to pay 5,000 rupees as a fee. Similarly, cross objection from AP. Cross objection forms. What is cross objection? One is reply, that is you are countering the grounds taken by him. Other is cross objection. Suppose order comes in favor of revenue, revenue has not appealed, but the party has appealed because parties agreed of the first appellate authority order. Then in that case, the revenue order may be in favor of revenue, but revenue may like to counter certain paragraphs in the finding which it founds are which is not in the interest of the revenue, which may be detrimental to the interest of revenue. So if it is so, the cross objection is filed. Appeal is order is in favor of revenue. Appeal is being filed by the party. Even then, revenue can file memorandum of cross objection with respect to certain paragraphs or findings that are mentioned in the first appellate order. But as per the Act, it has to be filed in the form of Appeal 06, that too within 45 days of appeal, extendable by another 45 days, of course. 5,000 fee has to be paid. Now, next one is that for the appeals, respondent gets around 1 month, 1 month for filing a reply. This is under Rule 36. Similarly, after the reply has been filed, then after 1 month are specified resign. What you can do is resign you can file for the reply within 1 month are specified by bench with the 5,000 base. Meaning, if appellant files an appeal, reply is given by the respondent. For the reply comes under Rule 36. Against the reply, if the appellant can always say rejoinder under Rule 37, countering what the respondent has given grounds. So this is what is the procedure that is available in the GST procedure rules. Next slide, please. Now I'll come to the specific procedure which I mentioned it to you. That is specific rules I have quoted here. Rule 34 says compulsory the endorsing copies of appeal to the respondent. If appellant filing appeal with GST 80, it is his responsibility to ensure saying that respondent gets the copy. Filing of cross objection by the respondent can do, even though order is in favor of them, which is being appealed, the impugned order, even though if it is in favor, final outcome. But if they have any objection with respect to certain paragraph, they can always file cross objection. Filing a reply by respondent, being a respondent, they shall file a reply within 1 month, and appellant shall specifically admit or deny a report. Filing of rejoinder by the appellant within 1 month of additional facts are produced by the respondent can always be done. These are the few factors that require to be remembered with respect to procedure. I have quoted on the left-hand side Rule 34, 35, 36, 1, 36, 2, and finally 37. So this may please be remembered so that in case anything is required to be done, this can be looked into. Now come to the procedure. In the procedure, I have already mentioned it to you. Next slide, please. I already mentioned it to you. I am slightly repeating this, but with additional filings. Suppose apart from the main appeal, you want to file a reply to the main appeal. Yes, you can file as a respondent, Rule 36. You want to file a rejoinder as an appellant against the reply filed by the respondent, then you get 1 month to do that. Fee is of course 5,000. If the respondent is agreed on certain paragraphs of the original of the first appellate authority, then they can file under Rule 35, Appeal 06, that memorandum of cross objection. Then if there is any miscellaneous matter that is required to be taken up under Rule 29, interlocutory application can be filed, and what are the supporting evidences required, all that are listed there, and a fee of 5,000 is required to be paid under Section 109(2). This is the additional filing that I am talking about. Next slide, please. Process timeline. Please remember the process timeline is very strict. I mentioned it to you, but I'm repeating at the cost of it because this is very, very importantly we'll have to understand. Even though I'm not saying officially as a member of GST Appellate Tribunal, I'm telling you saying that generally registry may take around 5 to 10 days. Defect notice you will get within 15 days. You are to register, ensure saying that your appeal is registered and it is listed 30 to 45 days. And first hearing to appeal, it will take easily 22 months to 3 months. That is 60 days to 90 days. This is not official. I'm only estimating this timeline so that why I'm doing this is after my first discussion at Trivandrum, I found still people that I'm not marketing, still people that they are showing laxity in filing appeals. Please understand the timeline after you file an appeal, starting from 5 to 10 days to 60, 90 days. Consider this timeline. I will request all of you saying that post filing appeal, so much timeline is available. If you want to get your appeal list hearing somewhere around, let's say today we are in January, after March or April, then you have to file today. Because according to me, it will take minimum 60 to 90 days in normal course, which are not very heavily loaded, which are not, those ones I'm talking of, is that possible. This is the possible timeline I'm mentioning it to you. Next slide, please. Now, I'll come to the part 4. Am I clear on this before I proceed? Can somebody confirm me, Umesh Sharma ji or Impreet Kaur, Smita Mishra? Can you confirm it till now? Am I clear?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes, sir. You can continue.
Yeah. So I have covered up to the pre-filing stage. Now I am coming to the hearing. Once you file hearing, how does it happen? Then I will go to the post-hearing stage.
Yeah.
I hope
Yeah.
step by step I am going so that even the students of CA also should be able to understand. If you have any questions, I will be able to take, but try to focus upon what I am saying rather than opening your book and trying to read the provisions. I have made it very, very simple here. I have not come here to show off that this rule number, that section number. I am not going to confuse you. When you said it is for the entire CA community, so I made it as a very, very simple without quoting much of rules and regulation, unless warranted, unless it is absolutely necessary. Now we'll come to the hearing procedure. What are the pre-hearing requirements? What are the during hearing requirements? I made it into 2 silos. Pre-hearing, I mentioned to you notice response, that you have to acknowledge hearing notice. Once an appeal is filed, appeal number is given, then you get a hearing notice within the prescribed time limit. It's a first hearing is scheduled on so and so day. You have to acknowledge that hearing notice. You means whoever is the respondent. Then once you, suppose you are a respondent, somebody files an appeal, then you have to give your written submission before arguments. Either your counsel for the appellant, that is taxpayer, or authorized representative of the revenue, who is going to file general practice. It's nowhere mentioned in the rules. In such that Honorable President and Principal Bench, many benches used to follow saying that it is to ask the counsel of the appellant or taxpayer and the authorized representative of the revenue to submit gist of what they are going to argue as a written submission. It is written submissions is at least should be submitted 3 days before, so that the members, honorable members, know what sequence you are asking. Many people will say saying that this is not required, I can directly argue, I am expert and all that. Agree, but with your interest that you give it in the synopsis to them, so that 2-3 advantages. Number one, whatever you have mentioned or not mentioned orally gets recorded there. It will appear in the order of GST, so that you can file an appeal. They say that I have argued this, I have mentioned this point, even then they have passed this order. So you will have a solid ground. Otherwise, second, third appellate authority will say, have you raised this point in second appellate? You don't have any evidence what you have spoken. But if we give a synopsis, it will come to you, hand it to you, saying that I have acknowledged this, because same thing is generally copied and pasted into the order to say saying that the authorized representative of the appellant or the revenue has stated so and so. Third one is the legal representation. Legal representation, you should have an authorized advocate, must have the proper enrollment. He should be authorized person to have the enrollment before he argues. This is pre-hearing requirement. Now we'll come to the during hearing. In during hearing, what should happen? Please understand very, very carefully, especially those people who don't have experience of appearing in tribunal, high courts or Supreme Court, is that oral arguments are going to happen. When if you are appearing on behalf of the taxpayer, you have to present your case systematically with legal references. I will request ICAI to conduct mock sessions, conduct mock courts, conduct GST. You make 2 people sit there. Let the people argue in front of them. If there is any defect, the judges can help them saying that don't argue like this, so that you can have mock sections of the court, so that you get fully prepared to argue. Two additional evidences are there. If any additional evidences are there, how are we going to do that? During the hearing, you can submit additional document with the tribunal permission. With taking the permission, you can always submit additional document if required, which you have not thought about it at the time of filing an appeal. Questions and clarification are very, very important. What the judicial members or technical member ask you, one, you should be in a position to answer if you are appearing on behalf of the taxpayer. That is, how to respond to the bench queries, how to provide clarification to them plays very, very, very vital role. If you are not able to respond, that means you are not prepared. You have to go thoroughly prepared with facts of the case and on the legal issues. You have to be 100 out of 100 on the facts. You cannot say, my lord, I will just check up and come back to you. No, that is not, that means you are not prepared. You cannot say saying that this clarification I will not be able to give unless I speak to my tax payer. No, you can't say that. I mean, you can say you may tend to lose the case. If you really want to win a case, you have to go thoroughly prepared to answer the questions and clarification. Next slide, please. Now, court hearings. During the hearings, I'm now taking directly to the court. How does the hearing happen? During the hearings, my advice to you is that it's an advice, it's not an official again, is that one should have a proper professional conduct. Don't be mean, don't be greedy, don't be over enthusiastic, don't be slum and very slow. You have to have a professional content, maintain court decorum. Just like what happens in High Court. Maintain, address the bench respectively. Stick to the time allocated. They will say saying that, okay, can you please wind up your arguments in 10 minutes, please? No, my lord, I require half an hour, I cannot wind up. No. Whatever you can do, in 10 minutes, try to do, then give balance in the written submissions. You say that, my lord, I have covered to this extent, balance I am giving you written submissions. Similarly, presentation tips, academic, I myself argued for 2 years with that experience I am telling. Our success rate was very high on behalf of revenue when I argued. Like when I means my team, entire team argued the cases. The focus upon, my tip is that focus upon key legal points. These are the turning points for the entire case. If you focus upon the main key legal point, entire case will turn around in your favor. Cite relevant precedents. My lord, in this particular case, this case has already been decided, it's a covered case, so and so case lies there which is in favor. Provide clear documentation. You should not talk in air. You should say, this is the document, this is the case law, kindly see in my booklet, page number 46, case law number so and so. I draw your attention to directly to para 46 and read para 46. Read in front of the honorable court and tribunal. Say that this is the para 46. Say, then you talk about the para 46. That will help you at all. Provide clear documentation. Next, please. What is the proceedings? How does the proceedings happen? Please understand that proceedings happen like this, meaning you should generally appellate tribunal, hearing is in physical mode. Filing of documents is online. It's called e-filing, mandatory filing. There's no option. You have to compulsorily e-file. But physical hearing is by default. Default, you can go to court and appear. But in case you want virtual hearing also, they will do with prior permission. In SESTAT, every Thursday is called virtual hearing. All other days are physical hearing. It depends upon the people who ask for it. So, in case you do not appear, then what they do is that they give you 1 adjournment, they give you 2 adjournment. If you make a request, the maximum they give you 3rd adjournment. Beyond 3rd adjournment, non-appearance, they will hear and decide the case. Suppose you are appellant, you yourself are not appearing, then the tribunal will not wait. Even suppose respondent does not appear, it's a different matter. You are the appellant, you are a aggrieved party, you have filed an appeal and you don't care to appear there, then obviously no tribunal has courtesy for the appellant. They simply hear the other side, decide the case or dismiss the appeal. So sometimes I have seen cases where the appellant does not come for more than 3 times, the tribunal decides to dismiss the appeal. If appellant is not aggrieved, not bothered, why should they do? I am again telling not more than 3 adjournments you will get. Very, very difficult to get more than 3 adjournments. Please do not seek adjournment by default. Oh, 3 adjournments are possible. Let me seek 1 adjournment. Let me seek 2nd adjournment. Let me seek 3rd adjournment. No. As an AR, in a cause list, minimum 10 cases used to be listed for me. All the 10 cases I used to go prepared. God only knows which case will come up, which case will get adjourned. Nobody knows till last minute. Anything can happen. In the cause list 1, 2, 3 cases may drag time so that my case may not come even though I go prepared. Many times it happens saying that this case is listed lost, it may not come, I go unprepared, that case only comes up. So one has to go prepared for all his cases. And timings are, you are very clear, it's mentioned in the rule, 10:30 to 4:30 with a lunch break between 1:30 to 2:30. Let's go. Next slide, please. Now, who can appear? One of the questions that were asked in the question answers I have seen was that who is authorized to appear? Authorized to appear, I have shown you. Who is not authorized to appear, also I have shown you. Who can appear? You can appear if you are a CA. Yes, you can appear. If you are an advocate, yes, you can appear. If you have a chartered accountant, cost accountant, yes, you can appear. You are a retired officer, yes, you can appear. Generally, after 1 year from the date of retirement. You are authorized GST practitioner, yes, you can appear. These are the people who are authorized to appear. Here, the point I want to make you to understand that chartered accountant is authorized to not only prepare document, but also to argue the cases before the tribunal, which is a golden opportunity for entire CA community to wake up, practice, and present yourself better. I personally believe that CS are very, very intelligent. It's not easy to get a CS ship. Once you got a CS ship, it is a new ground that is opening to you. Those people who put their step forward, not only prepare documents and also have a practice, are going to have a golden period in GST receipt. Now, who can't appear is those people, officers who are dismissed or removed from the government service, or those people who are convicted of an offense under GST, or people who are proven guilty of misconduct and insolvents cannot appear. What happens to a case if the appellant dies or its adjudication is insolvent? Then it becomes insolvent, or if the company is being wound up, then it can also become NCLT cases. Next slide, please. Now I'll come to part 5. Before I go to part 5, can I ask you small feedback? Is that okay till now? Umesh Sharma ji?
Yes, sir.
Am I clear till now?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. We are able to understand.
Yeah, it's 5:10. I hope I am on the time. So I would be taking, covering my presentation, and I have planned it. I have seen that. So I hope, hopefully, I should be able to even give sufficient time for question answer. Now I'm slowly entering into part 5. Part 5 is post-hearing. What happens after the hearing of the case? How does the order get implemented? So I made 2 silos here. One is that after hearing, case is reserved for judgment. What happens? Hearing will happen full day or half day, then adjournment, then again hearing continues. Once the hearings are over from the appellant and the respondent, after respondent again chance is given to the appellant to counter it. Further they will not do. First appellant submits, then respondent submits, then one chance will be given to appellant, then close. If the arguments are over, they will dictate every day what are happened in daily order sheet. Once the daily order sheet it says saying that arguments are completed, order is reserved. Some judges may like to pronounce then and then, it's up to them. But generally, most of the complicated cases, they will say that final hearings are over and order is reserved. Once the order is reserved for judgment, nothing can be done. No additional submission, no documents, unless otherwise the members, honorable members, permit you to submit. 2, additional submissions if required, yes, you can do after the hearing also, but copy has to be given to the respondent for in case you are submitting it. So equally it has to be done. So the principles of natural justice are there. 2, 3, compliance with the tribunal directions. If tribunal says during the hearing that you kindly do this, then you have to do. Taxpayer have to do, and await for publication of the order. Now, once the order comes, what happens? Order comes, then you try to get a certified copy for collection, a downloaded copy, compliance with the order direction. Whatever order comes, my advice is that please comply with it. You have to be a disciplined student. You have to be a disciplined taxpayer. You may be aggrieved. You may file an appeal, but further appeal, if required, you file. Evaluate the grounds, same legal grounds, benefit analysis, whether it is worth filing appeal or not. Everything you evaluate. Financial cost involved, evaluate, file an appeal. But first comply. Then a good military man says, captain says to the military sipai, jump. After jumping, then you can complain saying that my legs are broken and all that. But here order comes, my advice is that compliance is first. Then further you can file an appeal, because enforcement procedures will come into picture. Enforcement, because you are at second appellate stage, either for the revenue or for the appellant. Order may come this side in favor of revenue or in favor of the appellant. But for both, enforcement procedures will start. I again would like to remind to all the CA community and the entire taxpayers in the country that whatever the pre-deposit that you have done under section 115, it will be refunded back to you. The day the taxpayer gets an order, appellant gets an order in his favor, whatever pre-deposit you have done, automatically the department shall refund it to you, or you make an application to get it refunded. Suo motu they have to refund. They will refund it to you from the date of deposit to the date of refund with interest of 6%. So absolutely nothing to worry in case you get an order in your favor. If it doesn't come in your favor, then you will be further going in appeal. Now, in that case, what is the position? Can we see if you want to go in appeal? Next slide, please. Here, before I go to appeal, I want to say, because many times it happens, as I mentioned to you, either single member will be sitting or divisional bench will be sitting. When divisional bench sits, there are two people, one member technical, one member judicial. Suppose there is a difference of opinion between them after the hearing. How will they give order? What they do is, if there is any difference in the state bench, they request the third member to come and sit with them. Member of same state, within the state, Tamil Nadu, I'm in Chennai. If I'm sitting with judicial member and trying to have a difference of opinion, I will say in favor, he will say against. Then what we do is that we invite the third member in the same bench to come and give his opinion. So ordering GST order, member technical opinion this, member judicial opinion this, because these two are 1-to-1 countering. And then the third member will come, he will write his order. Then is obviously odd number 2:1, whichever is in favor he gives, the order will be decided. Suppose a principal bench, generally they cast member of a principal bench. If member is not there, then they get to the state bench. Next slide. Now legal. Now what are the aspects? Suppose after the order comes, then what happens? Please understand the implication. GST Appellate Tribunal is the final fact-finding authority. Beyond this, no facts required to be disputed. Kindly read 117 section, 118 section. Only on substantial, not just question of law, substantial question of law involved, then you can file an appeal to the High Court. If it is a state bench order, if it is a principal bench order, you have to file to Supreme Court. Only if substantial question of law involved. But please understand that under section 117 of CGST Act, notwithstanding the appeal that you filed before High Court or Supreme Court, the sums that are due to the department will be realized. Please remember 10% your deposit first appellate, 10% your deposit second appellate, 20% your deposit balance, 80% was stayed till the hearing, till the order of GST comes. The day order of GST comes, suppose it is against the interest of the taxpayer, you may file an appeal with High Court if it is a state bench order. But government will say under section 117, because second appellate authority also gave in favor of revenue, the amounts which are due to the government would be realized. There is no pre-deposit for filing. High Court will not say that you have filed with me, hence the government cannot realize. The section as on date reads that the sums due to be paid as a result of the GST order has to be paid. That is why I mentioned in my previous slide that first is compliance. Why? Less interest. The more delay you do, the more interest will go to the department. It's up to you. These are the implications against the orders of GST, which you may prefer to file an appeal or not. Next slide, please. Now here, now we'll come to the, in case there is any difficulty, in case there is any problem, these are the few details that are given on the GST website, which is showing that the contact information, GST, if any difficulty is there, registry office you can apply. If there is any difficulty, you can send email address to them. There is many people have contacted me. I'm in touch with many people also. They are saying, sir, so and so problems are there. To my little understanding, I have found many of them are IT support requested. So I mentioned it here, kindly make a note. If it is a technological issue, if it is an IT issue, if it is a portal issue, kindly send an email to IT-support@GST.gov.in. If it is a grievance, if it is a complaint, then send it to grievance@GST.gov.in. If it is a general info that you want to give, suggestion you want to give, send it to info@GST.gov.in. If it is a registry matter you require to talk to them, you require to address to them, then send it to GST.gov.in. If you want to call them up, these are the phone numbers available. What are the office timings I mentioned out here. Any kind of difficulty, no member would be able to be contacted. We are not government office. We are not public servants. So please understand that if I have any difficulty, I can't ring a member and tell him this problem is there. If I have difficulty, I can write a letter to member. No, you can't write a letter to a judge or member of a tribunal. You have to only contact registry. Registry is the front end which will be in touch with the appellants or the revenue. Even revenue wants to do anything, Generally, they contact the registry only, not directly to the members. Next slide, please. That is the one I have covered up to part 6. That is about, basic details about, post filing and what are the implications. Now I'll be entering into the issues. Am I clear till here? Can I get a small feedback?
Yes, sir, you're clear.
Impreet, I hope I'm clear.
Yes, sir.
Now I'll come to the issues. These are the burning issues that are there all over India. Many people would be facing this. This is the most interesting part and more useful part of our presentation. I'm already at 5:20, no issue. So here I have taken 2 days before screenshot from our e-filing of GST 80. What I have found is that total e-filed appeals are only 252. If you remember the staggering case, I was told, rough estimates, that first appellate authority all over India, don't quote me, as per the GSTN figures, approximately 4 to 5 lakhs orders they have issued. Assuming 5 lakhs orders they have issued, assuming saying that, let's say 4 lakh out of 5 lakhs, let's say 1 lakh is in your favor, you may not file, or nobody wants to file, at least 4 lakh appeal potential is there to be filed. But today, the position is that only 250 appeals have been filed. What could be the reasons? I kept on asking many people. The reasons possibly quoted are number of appeals filed is very less. Benches are starting on 21st January starting. They have already started on 21st January. Pre-deposit issues are there. Somebody said, why should I pre-deposit now? Can I tell you one thing? If you remember, there was a CBSE order which said that after the first appeal order comes in favor of revenue, the department wanted to release the amount because first appellate order is in their favor. This is between 2017 to 2025 before September, before GST portal opened up. The department went ahead releasing that amount. Then the CBSE has come to the rescue and said that, okay, GST is not there. You are not able to file an appeal. Agreed. But you pre-deposit the balance 10% also. Then we will not realize the 80%. Even though you are not able to file an appeal. Now I want to ask you, we have already deposited 20%. Why are we waiting to file an appeal? Your 10% already got locked up. Another 10% you have paid as per the CBC circular to avoid enforcement measures. Then if you have already paid 20%, why are we waiting? Some people said technical glitches. Some people said, we are busy with GST at 9 and 9C. Next slide, please. We are busy with GST at 9 and 9C, but it's only up to you. Now I'll come to the issues. Now in the issues, I want to make it clear as a member of GST Appellate Tribunal Chennai bench that what my Honorable President GST has said during the inauguration day on 24 September 2025 is that aim of GST is very clear. We want to give the GST on behalf of GST with the approval of Honorable President. I am saying this. We want to give a strong appellate mechanism that instills trust that justice will be swift and fair. Let me commit to the CA community as far as Chennai bench is concerned, not only Chennai bench, entire GST, it would be a very strong appellate mechanism where you will get justice and justice delayed then. Justice will be swift and according to us it will be fair. I also want to commit to you and say here that every taxpayer's appeal will be heard. Every taxpayer's appeal will be heard, rights will be protected, and with no delay in justice. This is the commitment that GST is giving. How do we do it? We are doing by methodology by which digital by default filings, hearings are, virtual hearings are also there. The time standards for listing, hearing, and pronouncements and proactively addressing delays in litigation. We shall undertake to you that we will ensure saying that we'll stick to the time standard. The outcome of GST, I will personally commit to you that it will be straightforward with reduced legal frictions. This is our methodology in which we are going to appeal. Next slide, please. And I also want to say that the method of dispose, how we are going to dispose, is something like this. We are going to work both qualitatively and quantitatively. Please understand that GST is not interested just to dispose. It's not a file that, okay, I sign, dispose, I sign and dispose. No, we are going to render justice. So the quality is going to be maintained. At the same time, quantity is also going to be substantial. because there will be huge backlog of the cases that you have filed in High Court, which may be transferred, or the cases that you are going to pay. So we are going to decide first the cases which are less than 50 lakhs disputed amount, where there is no question of law involved, by single member benches. Beyond that, what I am proposing to do is to do bunching of appeals. How am I going to do bunching of appeals? Multiple aggrieved persons. For example, if we take one show cause notice, one disputed item, there will be notice 1, taxpayer, notice 2, co-taxpayer, notice 3. So there will be 2, 3, 4 people notices. For all the 3 or 4 notices, there will be one order in original. For one order in original, they will be filing multiple order in appeals, because notice 1 is an aggrieved party, he will file an appeal with first appellate. Notice 2, maybe penalty has been levied upon him, he will file another appeal. Notice 3, he could be also penalty, he will file an appeal. So all these 3 appeals, whether they have been clubbed together and decided appellate, first appellate level or not, when it comes to GST 80, what we are going to do is, we are going to get into the order in original, see what are the notices. For all those notices, we are going to club together, even though notice 2, notice 3 would have filed appeal at later stage. Instead of strictly going to the chronological, we're going to club all the notices in one show cause notice and decide them together. We will hear separately. For notice 1, we will hear completely from his counsel. For notice 2, if he has filed an appeal, we'll hear him also. Notice 3, we will hear him also continuous. Then we'll respond our authorized representative for revenue to say what for against notice 1, notice 2, notice, then give a consolidated order. Multiple orders in original would be also clubbed if they are covered in a one. If an order in appeal covers multiple order in original, suppose sometimes first order in appeal also he will say multiple order in original also will cover, then we'll give club all of them as per the order in appeals. He will be one piece of order in appeal only, but it will show appeal numbers different. Appeal number 1, 2, 3 together they will give. Same manner, GST order also, with respect to various appeals, but it will give one piece of order, GST order covering appeal number 1 to appeal number 3, appeal number 5. Next slide, please. And bunching of appeals we are going to do also on the basis of with respect to the multiple order in originals on one issue. Suppose one issue is there, on that issue there are multiple appeals, multiple order in originals are there, we can club there. If it's a periodical show cause notice, periodical order in appeal for a taxpayer, then we're going to club them together. As you know, GST by design itself is filed, is registered state-wise. Every taxpayer, let us say, who is operating in more than one state, is registered in state-wise registration, right? So when you are registered state-wise, suppose there is a dispute, there is an issue of classification, valuation, or anything, ITC angle, most probably it could be in multiple states also. So for state dispute of taxpayer, which is involved in Tamil Nadu, he would have filed an appeal with Tamil Nadu bench, that is Chennai bench. Then for an issue, the same he may be having a unit in Kerala, he would have filed at Tirunanthapuram, he will be filed at Bengaluru. So what happens is that because you are filing multiple appeals, we'll have to see when you take up the case for hearing at Chennai, whether your appeal has been decided in Kerala or your appeal has been decided in Karnataka. It is the duty of the taxpayer to declare not only at the time of filing, but also during hearing, saying that, my lord, I have filed appeal on the similar issue at Karnataka and Kerala also they are yet to decide. Or they have already decided, my lord, this is the case. We should not hide, taxpayer should not hide. Because I will set according to the PAN number. I will just see PAN number, then I will set how many GSTN numbers are there, whether for this GSTN numbers, whether he has filed appeal at other places or not. Hiding of information is not a good professional conduct. If the order is come against the taxpayer cannot hide and allow the bench to innocently to hear the case. He shall declare to that. Especially those covered cases. If it is covered by High Court judgment, if it is covered by Supreme Court judgment, what we'll try to do is first we'll pick up the covered cases and dispose together. Similarly, when I said GST multiple appeal, if Karnataka tribunal has already decided, Kerala tribunal already decided, I will personally prefer that appeal to be taken on priority, take Karnataka to Kerala order, read, and if I agree with them, pass an order simply and get it disposed. It becomes easier. It's going to bear upon me because for the same taxpayer, you cannot have different opinion. Same manner for a covered case, if a High Court has already decided on merit, a Supreme Court already decided, there is nothing that I require to do. I just pick up that, take it as a covered case, list it up and dispose of. This is how we are planning to dispose as early as possible. Next slide, please. But I would also say that in case you are interested, either department, revenue or the appellant, if it is more than 1 crore, if huge amount is involved, I will appeal to you, I will request you to file early hearing application so that you have a reason to take it up on priority dispose. Why above 1 crore I am saying is that if it's a larger amount involved, generally, good consultants will appear, law will get decided. Once it get decided on a larger matter, same thing is appealed for multiple cases. See, if you take a glass, if you fill up first pebbles, then you fill up sand, it becomes easier. If you fill up sand first, then you try to put pebbles, it will not go. Similarly, if it's a larger amount involved cases, if we decide that first, then that becomes a covered case or gaining case for many other appeals. So if at all people cooperate, like I would like to have active cooperation from both bench with bar and AR appeal to encourage them to saying that huge amounts are kindly filed so that we will try to do. I would like to conclude, it's already 5:29, 5:30. I would like to conclude by saying that what our Honorable President has mentioned is that our slogan is earlier for GST, you know very well, one nation, one tax, one market. You know what now? After tribunal came, we are saying one nation, one forum for fairness and certainty. One forum for fairness and certainty. Honorable President, during the inauguration of GSTN, he has broken up acronym for GST. You know what he said? He said G stands for growth, GST. S stands for speed, GST. T stands for transparency, GST. A stands for accountability, GST. T stands for technology driven. In fact, our Revenue Secretary to the Government of India during his speech has mentioned about 3 S. First S is the structure. Please understand the structure of GST. There is a principal bench. There are 31 state benches, 32 benches are there at 45 locations with 116 members all over India. The structure to the scale. You see the scale to which it is operating, the scale with which it is developing, the scale which is handling. 3, the synergy. What is the synergy? Synergy between technology and human expertise. There's a member judicial, legal aspects. There's a member technical, taking care of all GST related matter. There's a technology, robust technology that is driving the entire tribunal to dispose the case. Next slide, please. Considering this aspect, my appeal to all of you is that we are going to give you a strong second appellate authority, which is going to instill confidence, which is going to work to a large extent in the best manner possible, provided there's a support from both bar as well as from the AR office. So with that much, exactly 5:30, I am closing this. Then I will go for question answer session. So if any questions are there that can be raised, I think there's already a lot of questions are raised and that I can address. Am I clear up to this before I go for question answers?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
You're absolutely. Yes, sir. I must say, such an immaculate deliberation will always be commemorated, serving a definite roadmap for our GST representations. My colleague will take up, share the questions. Madhav?
Good evening, sir.
Good
So
evening.
one of the member has first asked a question regarding pre-deposit. As section 112 subsection 8 requires 10% pre-deposit in addition to the first appellate pre-deposit, which is 10% also. So in case at the first appellate order, the demand get reduced at a significantly reduced. In that case, whether we have to pay pre-deposit, suppose a scenario, suppose demand order was, show cause notice order was 1 crore rupees, and at first appellate order, the order amount get reduced to 10 lakh rupees. And at the first appellate level, already the amount of 10 lakh rupees is already deposited a pre-deposit. Whether applicant need to again pay 10 lakh rupees of pre-deposit or 1 lakh rupees of pre-deposit at the second appeal.
Yeah, I'll come to this. I'll say I've said in my presentation so very clearly, 10% of the disputed amount has to be filed. What is the disputed amount? Is the 100 rupees. See,
Yes.
100 rupees disputed amount, you are deposited 10 rupees at first appellate authority. Unfortunately, you got an order against you, your interest. That's why you come to second appellate authority. The disputed amount stands 100 rupees only. So when I am filing an appeal with second appellate authority, on the disputed amount, 10% I have to pay. If you want, I'll read it out here. It says saying that 112B, 8 you have mentioned. No appeal shall be filed in subsection unless the appellant has paid. B, a sum equal to 10% of the remaining amount of tax in dispute, in addition to the amount paid under subsection 6 of the section 107, arising from the said order. subject to maximum 20 crores, in relation to which appeal has been filed. Provided that in case any order demanding penalty without involving impediment, all that is continuing. So the words one has to appreciate here is, I know you raising this doubt because a sum equal to 10% of the remaining amount of tax in dispute, in addition to the amount, remaining amount of tax in dispute. Tax in dispute is 100 rupees only. On 100 rupees, we have to pay 10%. This is my interpretation. If I'm wrong, you can always correct. Second, please.
Thank you, sir, for the answer. Then second question is regarding pre-deposit requirement in case of involving interest demand only.
Now, penalty they have very much clarified. Interest portion was not yet clarified, but later my interpretation is that even though it is not clarified, if only interest issue is involved, then also as on date there is no official clarification on interest. That I agree with you. Only on penalty they have clarified it. Interest they have not said anything till now. But if you are disputing on the interest, please remember one thing, fundamentals I will talk. If I am not disputing on the tax amount to be paid, how can I dispute on the interest? Interest is paid if it is a delayed payment. If I am not disputing on the tax amount, that means by default, department, it becomes a decree. Department need not even issue show cause notice or order in vigilance for collection of interest. Even if assuming saying that they have issued show cause notice, order in vigilance, first appellate over second appellate you are coming, then you are fighting only whether I have to pay interest or not. My personal interpretation is that maybe you will be required to pay. I'm not making an official statement, but it's up to you how you will interpret. If I'm a departmental officer, I won't even adjudicate, I won't even go. I will say decree. It is a order to be enforced. There is no further appeal lies. The entire interest should be realized. If it is a, let us say, appeal it comes, then better is to comply with the pre-deposit and file an appeal. Rest is left to your imagination. I'm not making an official statement on this because I'm not supposed to. I'm not here for sitting as a judge or a member. I'm not passing any order. Thus, rest is left to your interpretation. Next, please.
Sir, what was the requirement of filing of appeal in case of rejection of refund, as pre-deposited is not required?
Say it again.
What was the requirement of filing appeal in case of rejection of refund? Because in rejection of refund, pre-deposit, there is no scenario of pre-deposit. Then how we have to file refund? How we have to file appeal in case of rejection of refund cases?
Rejection of refund cases, see, in the pre-deposit, they have said that 112B8, if you go, see, in full, 118A, in full, in such part of the amount of tax, interest, fine, fee, penalty arising out of the imputed as admitted by them. So if you have filed for refund and if a refund gets rejected, then you are going to file application for refund. You don't have to pay, I think so. You don't have to pay any pre-deposit. I think because a rejection of a refund which you are due, you are going for it, it is not an amount that is due to the department. I don't think you require to pay. I will still verify and come back to you. I should not say anything wrong. Go ahead.
Sir, done from my side. These are the only questions.
No, but it's open to the audience. One by one, if you can control or ask, then whoever wants to ask some questions, they can ask.
I guess no more questions are there.
Just a second, just a second. One more question from the member. Void the interest in case of adverse order can we pay 100% of disputed tax in spite of 10%? Can we do?
You want to pay 100% instead of paying 10% alone, voluntary payment.
Yes, sir.
It's up to the taxpayer. The department does not stop from receiving the revenue disputed amount from you. So if as long as minimum is 10%, once 10% is paid, the tribunal will go ahead hearing it. Appellate authorities also will go hearing it. If you have already paid 100%, there is nothing that stops you from hearing. It may save you in case the order gets in favor of revenue, then instead of they demanding with interest, that will save you. If your time clock stops against the principal amount. So suppose there is a tax demanded along with interest, along with fine and penalty. So on the tax amount, there will be interest. So if in case you pay 100% before appeal itself, then it is like you don't have to pay further interest in case the order goes against you or against in favor of revenue. But I will advise you one thing. If you are paying 100%, if you see section 73, 74, there are some trade facilitation measures that are given. So in case you pay the entire amount before issue of show cause notice, then the proceedings of show cause notice shall not be issued. It's deemed to have been conclusive. You can only pay entire tax amount and the interest. Then matter is over. There is no need of paying any penalty also. There is no need to issue show cause notice. Kindly read 73, 74, the later portions of it. 73 is if there is no suppression. Now, of course, 74A has come. 74 is with suppression. There it is, if you pay the entire amount, then you can make an application that no need of issue show cause notice. You can say deemed to have been conclusive. So you will save from two angles. One is that penalty will not come. Two, in case the amount crosses certain limit, then prosecution will not come. If it is 74 with suppression, then if you pay the entire amount, then you have to pay only 15% of the estimated penalty amount. That 15% of disputed amount as penalty. Then deemed to have been conclusive can be done. This can be done prior to issue of show cause notice. After issue of show cause notice also you can do before adjudication. Or after order in original has come also you can issue. The percentage of penalty as a percentage of the penalty amount as a percentage of disputed amount will vary from 15, 25 to 50. Then you can pay at various stages. I have been appealing to many of the people that please kindly utilize the provisions of trade facilitation measures that are given in 73, 74 for avoiding a dispute rather than confronting a dispute. That's why I mentioned to you financial implication, cost benefit analysis of a dispute has to be seen, because first you have to decide whether it is worth filing an appeal or not. So if you have paid 100% against a pre-deposit, I would rather advise you kindly utilize the 73, 74 and 74A now provisions, which is with effect from financial year 2024-25, that the deemed to have been conclusive or these provisions can be utilized, because greatest advantage I will tell you is that this is a quasi-judicial process, and then there is a prosecution process also that can be initiated if the threshold limit disputed amount goes certain beyond the limit. They will not wait for tribunal order. The moment show cause notice is issued, they can start prosecution. So in case you pay and deemed to have been conclusive, you can avoid prosecution, then you can avoid penalty also. So that advantage would be there rather than appealing after paying the full amount. Again, this is not official advice, because you have asked, I mentioned it, I'm not speaking like a member of a tribunal. I'm only advising you what is available as per the section. Next, please.
No more questions, sir. Thank you.
So thank you, Rahman sir, for your elaborate discussion. And it was a fantastic discussion, and it was a part-wise, it was a very smooth discussion, and you covered all aspects regarding to the GST Appellate Tribunal, the challenges and how to face the challenges. And most important, you motivated our members, chartered accountant members, that how to come forward, how to present yourself, and how to be ahead in this arena of GST appellate practice. So thank you, sir, by heart, for coming here, for giving us time. And virtually we have 1,500 plus members. So it's a loud applause to you, sir, for your popularity and your lucid language and simplicity in presenting the complex issue has made us very easy to understand this complex subject. And as you told, sir, the long form of GSTAT. So transparency, technology, accountancy, these are very important things for us. And we as a ICI are proud to host your webinar. In future also, we will be looking forward for you for the new and different important issues and aspect related to GSTAT tribunal. And thank you all the members for joining this webinar in large number. Thank to support team, technical team, Inpreet Kaur and Smita ma'am and our chairman RK sir for giving his opening remarks. So wish you all a happy learning and best practices in GST Tribunal. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you once again. Thank you to all of you. Thank you for giving patient hearing.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you. Thank you, Umesh, sir.
Thank
I
you.
disconnected.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, sir, for being a guiding star to navigate us to the GST
Thank you.
working. Thank you. You can sign off for the day, Bhargav.
I'm signing off.
Yes.